Okay, so here I am in my hotel getting ready for a full day of Circuit Playground Express iterative prototyping workshop where we're going to be leading educators through physical computing and coding using the Circuit Playground Express, leading them through how coding and manipulating of everyday objects can be really awesome and amazing, help kids understand the world and the things that they use. So what I'm doing is I'm hacking the idea that I learned from Bird Brain Technologies with the Hummingbird kit of making a memory town, and using that as a frame. They could do a memory or just something in general. So I've got myself a box here. I'm going to document my journey of what I'm learning, and I'm very limited in materials because I'm in my hotel room. And my idea here, if I can make this work, is to get my face where the Circuit Playground serves as an eyeball, and as my coffee mug gets closer, the eyes light up and get happy, and as the coffee goes away, the eyes turn red, possessed of give me some caffeine. So here we go. The first thing I've done is I have just taped my box together because I have to travel home. If I didn't have to travel with it, I would just use some hot glue and really make this look nice and not be so gaudy with the tape. I need to be able to disassemble it. So I'm going to do that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a window so we can see inside my box of awesome. So let's go ahead and do that now. What I've done here is I've just measured about a ½ inch from the border all the way across and draw my lines. They have to be perfect, but just getting it as nice and square as I can, and then I will use my box cutters to slowly cut this out. And I know it's already in a box, which is not ideal, but I didn't want to risk cutting the back wall. So I'm going to go ahead and finish drawing this line here and then cut out this piece. And then, so I got this out, and you know, one of the things that I'm learning through these challenges, I've now done a couple where I've been restricted on materials or resources, is just how challenging it can be when you don't have everything at your disposal. And I'm learning quickly how fortunate I am to be a complete nerd and having things at my desk to use. So the beauty of this is I can actually use this, I can label this, and this can serve as a template for other people to trace for the window frame. So I'm just going to call this window frame, and I can save that. There we go, repurposing. So there is that bad boy. And so I'm going to lay this down. The next thing I'm going to do is, since I don't have extra cardboard laying around, I actually have to use another one of these boxes, which is kind of a waste. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out one of these walls. This is going to serve as a cover wall back here so I can hide all my components to the box. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out real quick so it fits nice and snug. I've got my wall cut out, and I know it's going to be nice and snug. I'm not going to force it in there quite yet, but it's nice to know that it's actually there. So now what I need to figure out what it looks like. There we go, that's looking pretty spiffy. Alright, so now what I got to figure out is this. My idea is here we're using a servo motor. It's going to move the coffee cup back and forth. And so what I'm thinking now is my idea is not really going to work that well because the head is going to be too big. We're not going to be able to actually see in the box. So I'm going to keep this design. I'm just going to cut it much smaller so it fits. And obviously I know that my guy's got a huge monstrous eyeball. It's kind of the exaggeration, but you know, it'll work. So I'm going to redraw this and then sketch it to fit on that canvas and somehow, some way, I think. Alright, so what I'm thinking is I just kind of cut the back half side of his head off as before I start making really big adjustments because I don't want to waste the cardboard if I don't have to. So now I'm just looking at some clip art images on Google and trying to figure out which one that I'm actually skilled enough to draw. So I'm thinking just this kind of tiny little, I don't know, teacup. It's not enough coffee to make me happy. I might need about 7 refills. But I think that'll be about the right size. If I get in there with the servo motor, we can get it kind of moving towards them. So we'll see. So I'm going to finish sketching this out. I'm looking at that bad boy right there, and we'll see what we can do. So I had to flip my coffee mug around. I realized he's facing the wrong way. So normally if I would drink coffee, my hand's going to be here, bringing it to the mouth. And so I'm not quite clever enough right now to figure out how to cut out a cardboard hand. So I'm just going to use this popsicle stick. And I'm thinking that that can go up and down accordingly. So I'm going to have to get out a hot glue gun here. I'm going to have to add some Sharpie outlines to spruce this coffee cup up here a little bit, but I think this can serve as the hand. And I'm thinking the servo motor is going to go down here, raise it to the thing, make him happy. So, okay, so here's where we got. I hot glued, I switched the coffee cup back over this way just because I wanted to. Because, I mean, who really drinks with the handle right towards their face? So we got that. This is like me tiny little arm for me big old head. And so I've got this cut out. It's not perfect, but it'll do. Circuit Playground for the eye. I just have it held together temporarily with duct tape. So the other thing I got to figure out now is the servo motor. This is a micro servo, so it's a 3-volt servo, so we can actually power it with the Circuit Playground. And so we've got our wires here. Brown is the ground, the red is the positive lead, and then the yellow is the signal. And so I happen to bring from my workshop, tell me how many these wires are. It is a alligator clip on one side with the male end on the other. So I can actually plug these directly straight into my servo motor. I know, phenomenal. And now I just got to figure out the wiring on the Circuit Playground so I can hide the wires. And so I know that my brown wire, okay, my ground, I know this is looking a little messy on the screen, but you know, I only have 2 hands. The ground is going to go to the ground on the Circuit Playground. I know you can't see that, but it's the G and D. So I'm going to stick that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use this top one. No, let's just use this for now. Actually, no. We're going to use the top. I don't need a wire coming out of his nose like he's flossing his nostrils or something. So there's the ground there up top. And then I can hide that with my wiring and my cardboard memory box. And next up we have the red wire of the servo. That's the power. So that's going to go to the 3.3 volt. And so that is also up top. So that's money in the bank. Also, we can hide that hopefully pretty easy. And the last is the yellow wire, which is the signal. And I am going to plug that. Let's just use this A3. So I've got it all wired on the top of his head. So what I need to do now is to figure out how to hide these alligator clips from the memory box. And so I might just maybe put another piece of cardboard up above. Or maybe give him some hair. I mean, I don't have hair. I'm just tall, bald, and ugly. So maybe it'd be nice to have some hair. So I'm going to try to figure out how to weave that in here. And I'm not real sure. So I've got this wall that I can hide things behind. And so let's just see how this looks here a little bit. I mean, if I don't hide the wires and just glue my cardboard head in, well, you know, you really can't see it too much. So I definitely maybe just might keep it like this for now, just for the beta. And I can always add more cardboard once we get going. So we'll see here. So I just need, before I lock this guy in, I'm gonna write some code to make sure he works. And then I gotta poke this servo through the bottom down here. So I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna hot glue this in, hold him in place, and then figure out the hand placement for me tiny little hand. Okay, so I actually pulled the wall out, so I'm just gonna trace the outline of the servo here in just a minute when I take the camera down with just my pen. And this is where servo's gonna go. And then on the servo, on this is where I'm gonna hot glue my coffee cup hand. And I think we'll be in good business. So I'm gonna carve that out real quick, trace it, cut it out, and then see if we can get the hand going and then write some code. Okay, so just getting cheesier and cheesier as we go. We got the coffee cup right there. Got my servo in. I might have to stick a dab of hot glue just to hold it into the cardboard. Right now it's pretty loose. But I'm going to plug it in the make code and see if we can do some programming to see if the coffee cup will actually do what I want it to do. So let me throw some dab of hot glue on the servo to the cardboard, and then we will get to the coding. Oh man, is this looking epic. I know it's not ideal to do the screen this way, but it is what it is. So I tried to write the servo write pin to A3 like I had wired, but it doesn't exist. I can only do A2. So I actually had to shift my wire over one, so now it kind of looks like he's got like a harpoon coming out of his eyeball, like, oh my goodness. And I'm just going to test it at, to move the pin to 164 degrees, wait 2 seconds, and then go to 49. And I just want to see if this works. I have no idea what to expect. So let me drag this code. This is just going to loop forever, so this could be ultimate disaster. Whoa, we just poured coffee all over ourselves. Okay, 2 seconds later I realize why. Look at this. Another ding dong move, A2 and A1. It can't go back, right? Because I am in the wrong port. So we need to make this A2. You know what? Sometimes I tell you, I just need to let things go and maybe not do this stuff all the time. This happens. It's the small details that usually trip us up. It's not that we don't have the knowledge. It's that we overlook the small details. All right, let's see what goes on here. Oh, yeah, looky. Looker. So I like to pour it further, but I have to remember I'm in the confines of this cardboard box. So there we go. So now I got to write some code to light these eyes up here to get it moving and grooving. So let's see what we can do here next. All right, so this is my code here. Here's what I ended up doing. It's just a forever loop. I went over down here to my advanced blocks, and this is where the servo things are, and you can just search for servo. This is what powers up the hand, so to speak, and I just did the servo right pin. It gives me two options, A1 and A2, and I just moved it to 94 degrees. I played around with the right location. I just went over here to show an animation, and I could change this animation to whatever I want it to be. I just kept it this for 500 seconds, and then it plays the power-up sound, like, yes, we're getting some coffee. And we waited 3 seconds just to make sure all this is able to go on and rock and roll. And then it moves the pin or the servo back to 49 degree threshold. And it plays red because, oh my gosh, give me some coffee. I'm not happy. And we play the power down noise naturally, and then we wait 3 seconds. And this is just in a forever loop. So that is the code for the Coffeeman. I'm just going to call it Coffeeman loop. And there you have it. All right. So I got him working here, where he's going 3 seconds, and then 3 second pause, eyes go red, give me caffeine. We play the power up message, yay, rainbow colors. Power down message. So what I'm going to do now is just add some poofies and give him some hair. Try to hide some of these wires, and then I'll show you the code, and then we're going to move it on to the next level of awesomeness. That's one styling, profiling. I don't know, it might have made it worse, but you know we're going to go with it. So I'm going to go ahead and insert this guy into the box here, and then I'm going to show you my next trick of the trade. Say hello to Coffeeman. You get coffee? Yay, happy! And then power down. Ooh. Give me the caffeine. You know, it's just what I do. Now just a little bit more, and now I have taken the awesome Ava and Dorky Dad magic wand, the wand that is holding the test of time, and I have now programmed this circuit playground to communicate with that circuit playground. That's just how good his hair is. And now I can send infrared signals with the remote control with the A and B buttons on here. So check this out. If I hit B, he's right there drinking coffee and he's happy. If I hit A, so as opposed to being in a loop, I can now control him. And I don't know how close I have to be. It's not too close. I have him in a box, so that doesn't help much, but I think if we get right about here is about the range. We got a lot of layers going on here. So there isn't just another way. And so I will jump over to the code and explain how I made this happen. Alright guys, so here's how the code works. What I did was I came over here and I went to input and I dragged over two of these blocks, this on button A, two of these. I made one on button A click and the other one on a button B click. And then I jumped down here to the network and I picked the infrared send number. And so when button A is pressed, it's going to send number 0. Button B pressed, it's going to send number 1. And what you need to realize is that infrared works in a weird way, which I don't quite understand at all. I just know that what happens is when we send the infrared signal, there's like 59 pulses that go at a certain rate. And then the Circuit Playground reads all those signals and then converts it into a number of 0 or 1. And so what we've done over here then is we've added a network block of this on infrared receive block right here. And so let's just build it right next to it so you can see how this works. And so on this receive here, let me get these guys out of the way. It'll just make life a little bit easier if you can see everything. All right, we're just going to walk through this whole thing step by step. And you can program this to do whatever. Mine's just for my Coffeeman to drink his coffee. So I'm going to go here to the logic, and I'm going to grab the if then else block. And I'm going to drag that in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down to this logic again, and I'm going to grab this compare block of the equal. And I'm going to drag that right there where it says true. I don't know if you can see that. Let me get that guy in there. Okay. Now, what we want to do then is we need to put a variable in here. So we're going to drop down the variable, and we're going to grab this number. It's already what is in here up above. Now, what happens is we send a signal. The button A press, we're going to send this basically a 0 or a 1. If that number variable here is 0, then what do we want it to do? Okay, in this case, I'm going to go to my servo here now. I type in servo. I can go to my right pin here. I can choose wherever I'm plugged into, pick my option. I can show my animation. Let's just click the animation here. All right. Else, I come down here and I would do the opposite. So this is going to move my hand away in my Coffeeman that you saw in the demo. So I would go back to my servo. We're going to write back to pin 2. I'm going to move this guy here to, it's about 45, 40. All right. And then I can change my light to red. Okay, and we've kind of got all this stuff rocking and rolling here. These are just extra things. Now the reason this isn't lighting up is because we're doing the exact same thing over here. We can't have the same variable doing 2 lines of code. That's why this is blocked out. So as I delete this out here, so you would pick what you want to have happen when button A is pressed and what you want to have happen under the else when button B is pressed. The thing that's important is at the end of this loop, you want to put this clear block in. This just clears everything and kind of resets it, waiting for the next signal. And so that is how you do the infrared. It's important then that you download this to both circuit playgrounds. So you can see here in the simulator, you can test to see if it works. I hit A. All right, it lets me know here, it can read this code. So now when I hit A, I can see that that's working. I can go here to B. It's going down. So I can kind of play around with that and kind of see how it works. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, so now we've progressed. We got the awesome Ava and Dorky Dad magic wand that used to be super magical. It's even more magical because now we can control Coffeeman. So we're pressing A and B buttons, sending an infrared signal just like you do to your TV, and I can make Coffeeman happy whenever I want. Boom, shaka, laka.